decided to drive on down to Rivers Bridge State Park, or State Historic Site, however you want to put it. Get my stamp down here too. All right, so when I come in the park, I took a left, and it starts at the memorial area. It's actually got a memorial for the heroes of World War II here, as a cemetery there, and then it's got your other memorials and stuff there. It's pretty cool. In memory of our heroes of World War II, erected by the counties of Allendale, Bamberg, Colleton, and Hampden, May 1st, 1948. Very respectable. Couple flags, couple of stones there, gravestones. Try to be respectful. Look like they have a pavilion here. So they have a little museum here, so I figured I'd jump in, check it out, see what it's all about. Pretty much about the casualties and the Battle of the Rivers Bridge that was during the Confederate War. It's open for anybody to walk in. It's not manned. They unlock it during park hours and assume that you're going to be respectful of the building and the premises. So I'm going to kind of look through everything, check it out. They even have a little book here with some information on it about some of the people, I guess, that died here at Rivers Bridge, maybe other places. Very historical. I'm about to hit the trail. They do have some nice restroom facilities here. They've got a marker for Bamberg County right there, and then they have a marker for Allendale County over there. So I don't know if this is kind of the split between the counties or not, but this is a mile trail that heads this way, and then it goes off into some interpretive trails and stuff like that. So let's get a move on. It's 11 o'clock on the dot, and let's see what this site has in store. I packed my book with me because I think that the stamp is over at some of these other buildings that I could have parked at, but I figured I'd park at the trailhead and see the museum and walk down. So when I walk past the stamp, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the stamp so that I don't have to try to park somewhere and grab it on the way out and wind up forgetting it, because this one's a little bit out of the way. I was thinking about doing Lake Warren State Park today as well, but I just don't have the time, so I have to come back and do that, which is fine. So I've fished Lake Warren a few times, and it's not far from here, but I think when I go get that stamp, I'm gonna bring the kayak with me and do a little fishing. But that little building over here in the woods, ain't no telling what it's for. All these little pop-up buildings, a lot of these little state parks, never really having any idea what it's for. They always have them locked, but I'll bring you along if I see anything good. Got some kind of barricade here. So it's probably part of their interpretive trail. Probably trying to make it look kind of how it did back during the Civil War time. It's got pine limbs stacked in it. Imagine that's what the soldiers and stuff would hide behind while fighting the battle that was here. Got it laid out with some nice fences and stuff around here as well. You see cedar shank style fences. But there's something up there. I might have to walk over there and check that out. That might be where the park stamp's at. Yeah, I'll go up there and catch it on the way back. We are coming up to the trail. We're gonna walk on the paved road from the initial trail. So there's a trail that kind of skirts this main walk, I believe. We're gonna try to take that. Like I said, supposedly it comes off the edge of the thing and kind of goes around it, comes back on the main trail, so you can have like an interpretive trail that skirts the main drive here. Yeah, there's a sign for it up there. So here's kind of the main trail. There's some side trails. I'm gonna try to hit some of them side trails, and then I'm just gonna walk the main trail all the way back when I come back. So little side excursion. So the sign says walking trail and battlefield trail. From what I know, the walking trail comes back into the battlefield trail. You could actually drive this, I believe. But I'm gonna walk the walking trail. So as far as the map shows it should come back into this main trails and then down to the Battlefield Trail. This park's also free, by the way. I did want to say that. No entry to get here. So, be a good historic outing. So, had a lot of cool information in that museum as well. Didn't have like a lot of artifacts or anything, but it had a lot of displays. I looked through the majority of it, read the majority of it. History, not always pretty, but good to know, interesting stuff. It's a pretty cool little trail here too. Bring you back when I see something interesting. That's a pretty trail, very well maintained, easy to walk. A lot of woods, trees, plenty of trees. So on most of the trail they have it marked with arrows, but they typically on all these trails mark them with paint as well. Some of them mark them with different color paint. Sometimes they have different colored paint that works for different color trails in case there's multiple trails that loop into each other. This one seems to be orange, so easy enough there. Orange mark, staying on trail. So private property borders this. I'm fairly certain that's somebody's deer stand down there. It's after hunting season, so I ain't got to worry about messing them up or nothing. But bet you do see a lot of deer and hogs down here. They also, on this trail, they've got these little posts every now and then that have letters on them. One of them said R back there, that one says E. Not really sure what that's for. A little walk over bridge for the little ditch here. A lot of times these state parks will have like interpretive things, so you're supposed to kind of like seek out and find all the letters or figure out what it spells, or you know, they have it labeled for a certain part of the trail. And they have, I think at this park, they have ranger guided walks as well. And I think they're only like $5, but I don't know if they have one today. I wasn't gonna sign up for it. Be the only person walking with the guy. I'm pretty much a loner, as you can tell in a lot of my videos. I like to go by myself and just kind of go at my own pace and do my own thing. See, there's another R right there. Don't know what it's for. I don't know if you can kind of see it back there, but right there-ish, let it refocus. Kind of a mound right there. Wonder if that's natural or if somebody built that up back in the day. Might just be a pile formed from pushing old debris up at an old homestead. Or it could be, like I said, I do see some kind of trash that look like it's from an old building. Or it could be, might have built it up during the Civil War as a defense system. Don't know. It looks like there's a really nice pond over here to the left-hand side too, but I think that's on private property. I think. You kind of see it through the woods. There's a building right there. An old park bench right there. Somebody hadn't turned over for some reason. Yeah, I think that's private. If it leads it to us with the interpretive trail, we'll go down there and check it out. But I don't think it does. It'd be cool if it did. That looks like a very nice pond to fish. I don't think we're going to be that lucky. There's another letter there, a B. Huh. Just passed a father and a son walking. A little young fella. Had their dog too. Yellow lab. Pretty cool. This is a good little long trail though. Been on it for a minute. A couple minutes. It's 11:27. So it's very, very neat. I think I'm about to hit the trail connector to where I can jump across the road. Because the other little small trails on the other side of the highway down here. So I plan to hit that. Because I think that's where the battle section's at. So I'm going to bring you back, I think, unless something interesting else pops up, and bring you back when we get across the road. And then we'll have to do another part 2. So before you get back to the main little trip, there is a split trail. There's a little short trail that circles you back. And then there's this one if you want to go to see the Civil War battle area. So I'm taking this one. See, we're heading towards the battlefield trail now. We just come off the walking trail. That was that initial connector that we started on. We took a big long loop to get from that sign down there to here. It was worth it. in order to finish this trail, I've got to cross the road. So coming out of that trail from part 1, and we're going to cross the highway. Try not to get run over. They do have an official section right here, since you're not jaywalking. Not that you can jaywalk in the countryside anyway. We don't believe in that kind of stuff. They also, if you just wanted to go check out the battlefield, they do have a nice parking area here for that. Like I said, that's the guy that I ran into with his son earlier. So you could just park down here and do the small little loop. I'm trying to do the whole thing, make it worth it. Little picnic areas here, so you can sit down and take a load off, have your little snacky snack or a sandwich. I'm gonna walk over here and show you the kiosk and what they have to offer down here. So coming up to the kiosk, this is what it looks like. Very nice and maintained. Here is, so I started here, I come down that trail, I walked the little trail there, come out here. I told you I could have skirted back there, but I decided to jump here so I could jump across the road. Now I'm gonna check out this trail, come back and then walk the blue line back to the truck and stop and get my stamp and stuff. But they have all the regulation and information here at the kiosk. Might even take a walk with a soldier thing with me so I know what's going on. Probably return it. They also have a little information kiosk here, and you can see how it kind of rolls out into some hills and valleys down here. So it should be an interesting walk. Decided to stop here on the picnic table before I did that next section. I felt like I was getting a blister on one of my foots, so I figured I'd check it out, make sure I was good. I also feel like a newbie and a weakling right now, because I feel like I've walked all over the place and worked on my feet the whole time, my whole life. I've never gotten like a foot blister. Felt like I was going to get one, so I don't know if it's the shoe doing it to me or what. But like I said, I feel a little bit of a newbie or whatever, having any kind of foot trouble. But I've heard when you hike, even if, like I said, you're a regular outdoorsman, that it can happen to you. But it's better to be safe about it and check yourself out. Don't hurt yourself. So that's what I was doing. But I'm about to put my shoe back on because I'm fine, and get to finishing this trail. Decided to go ahead and take my jacket off too. The sun's coming out, sweating a little bit. Don't know what's wrong with my foot. I'll probably get a blister on it. That'll probably suck, but it'll be all right. Heading to the trail. Toughen up, right? I'm gonna be doing this all year long. Gotta be tough. Not always gonna wear hiking boots either, but with getting wet last time, I felt like it was probably a good idea. All right, do we go left or right? I probably should look at the sign. It's just a big circle, so I don't really think it matters. So I think I'm going left. Going left, let's go left. So the little kiosk here says that we're basically here, and it talks about like that structure we saw earlier with the logs stacked up. That's how they would stand. We're here. They've got some earthen reinforcements here. You can kind of see the trench so that they can look out over that. And down there is evidently the Salkehatchie River, so that if you were fortified here, they're coming through the swamp. And you also have the lay of the land. They had a really advantageous position here. This kiosk talks about how it was the indescribably ugly Salkehatchie because it was so hard for the Union troops to get across. Good information to know, because I plan on doing a Salkehatchie kayaking trip here soon. Because the Salkehatchie actually, if you trace the Salkehatchie River, it actually originates in Williston, South Carolina, my hometown. It actually originates from the sister lake to the Heritage Pond Lake. That's where its headwaters officially originate from, and it comes down into like Rosemary Creek, and then that Rosemary Creek eventually comes into Salkehatchie. But that is the official headwaters of the Salkehatchie River. So might have to do a source to sea kind of set up there, where I either bike or hike or something that first section that's not paddleable until I get down to the first official bridge and see how far I can paddle that joker down. Like I said, that's for the future. Right now we're at Rivers Bridge State Park. I think we're coming down to the Salkehatchie at this point. We got some more kiosk here, and yep, there's the Salkehatchie. I had my fishing rod in the truck. I should have brought it with me. Man. So evidently this battle happened February 2nd and 3rd, 1886. It's cold then, because it's cold now. It's middle of January, so it usually doesn't get much better by February. Pretty similar to how the Edisto looks, though. Could you imagine having to walk through this swamp in that cold water in February? Lord of mercy. Oh. Very cool, though. I can't wait to paddle the Salkehatchie. It's on my list of things to do this upcoming year. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe to all my platforms. TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. The more followers I can get, the more reasonable it makes to do some of these trips. I'm going to do them regardless, but I'm just saying. Help a brother out. Just noticed this while I was down here checking out the water. You could see the old bridge pilings and how they go across to that embankment. So there was a bridge here. I imagine it either just got old or probably the Confederates probably blew it up so that they wouldn't be able to, the Union troops wouldn't be able to walk across the bridge and instead would have to wade the swamp, which would be terrible to have to do in February. But interesting history there. But you can definitely see where the old pylons used to lie. So Battlefield Trail continues this way. I'm gonna follow it. But you can imagine just wading through that swamp and then having to walk up into this, and you got people terraced behind those embankments and stuff. They shooting at you or whatever. Shoot. I don't want none of that. No, sir. Be a heck of a thing to have to live back in those times. We are very blessed with the way we're able to live today in the United States, even with everything else going on in the world. Anyways, let's get off that subject. It's very swampy. What I like about this is just like the Edisto swamp, you kind of got little creeks and swampy tributaries that go into the river and all throughout the swamp, so that you're not just the main channel the whole time. It kind of flows everywhere. The higher the water level gets, the worse it gets, so to speak. Another kiosk here. Back to the trail and the river swamp. This kiosk talks about how it looked back in 1885 or 1865. They had dropped all the trees and stuff, but you had them terraced right there, and you had to get through all the dropped trees and stuff. I mean, it was ferocious down here. That's probably why it's still so cleared out. I mean, those are pretty big embankments right there. The trail's very nice to maintain though. Heading down on into the swamp again, looks like. It's kind of the last little swampy area. Now it kind of heads back up to the embankment so you can get an overview side of it. And you can kind of see the ruts in between there that they had dug out. That's just, wow. I'll take a lot of digging, let's be honest. So this kiosk talks about how the Union finally was able to break through by hitting them with the flank and then coming around the edge. That way they could, because you came around the edge right here, I mean, you could see that right down the darn little pike right there. It's only now that I'm realizing how country I'm talking. But you can see right down it, and it would kind of make your fortification of your area a lot less if you're hitting it from the edge instead of straight on. And you can eventually wind up overtaking them. So there's that. So evidently, from this overlook right here, this is where the cannons was at. They was firing the cannons from this area down all through the swamp and stuff, because you could even see the river down there in a couple places. Dang. So you can see all out through it and anybody that was coming. Very, very interesting history. Now, that's pretty much all the trail. Head back to the trailhead and then walk back towards the buildings and get my stamp. I do have a long walk after I cross the road down to the state park building to get the stamp, but I'm gonna get there. Crossing back the road now, gonna walk this trail straight back. I've already done the interpretive little trail on the side, taking it straight back to the car, towards the car, to the park entrance, get my stamp. That's where we'll be next. I come up off the trail, you can see I got a nice little picnic area. There's a little bathroom area. I think the stamp's gonna be up here at the main park office. So the stamp for this one's right here at the kiosk at the main park office. So I'm gonna pop that joker open. All right, got my stamp. Boom. And we're done. Stamp was at the kiosk. It's under Battle of River Bridge State Park in the booklet. I'm back at my truck. End of the day, y'all take care. Lord willing, we'll see you next time.